Hey everybody, Will here from vitalsage.com again. Thought I would just record a short video just to talk about this little idea that I've been thinking about recently. It's kind of been on my mind, like different ways to approach the things that are important to us in life. So one of those is diet, another one is exercise. Whatever it is for you, whatever the ones are that matter to you. The one I'm thinking about right now is diet, because recently I've let my diet slip, the one that I do personally, which is kind of like a mixture of things, but the primary things that I like to focus on are being gluten-free, being soy-free, and being free of industrial seed oils. So like canola oil, what are the other ones? Cottonseed oil, sometimes sunflower, safflower oil, soybean oil. A lot of these guys, because they're just incredibly unhealthy, very adulterated oils. So those are things that I like to avoid in my diet. But recently, and this is mostly because of work, where there's just a lot of free food handed out, I've let myself slip. And I tend to make a lot of excuses while I'm doing it. I tend to be like, well, this is just wheat, but at least it's not a lot of sugar in it. At least there's no dairy in it, whatever. It's the whole, like, I'll do better tomorrow. This isn't that bad because I worked out earlier, I'm working out later tonight, whatever it is. We all do this. We all rationalize in our head because we don't want to feel bad about it, whatever it is. And it kind of occurred to me that when I was more militant, is the word I'm going to use, about my diet, the easier it was. I noticed a lot of people at that time would be like, you don't want to eat any cake, you don't want to eat any pie, any sweets, whatever. And I'm like, no, like I really don't want them. And when I say I don't want them, it's more so just because the choice has already been made. Like, I don't walk in thinking like, oh man, like when they offer me that, I don't know what I'll say. I've already made the decision. Whether or not they offer it to me, I've already made the decision. It's a no. I mentally don't want it. That's probably a good way to put it. I have mentally decided that is not going to serve me, so I don't want it. Whereas lately I've been walking in and I've been kind of just tolerating things being offered to me. And it's actually the fact that I don't walk in with the rule in my head of I'm not eating it. The fact that I walk in saying maybe I will has actually forced me to now have to use willpower every day. This is actually the key, because you don't want to rely on willpower, because then it just tires you out. So then when it's offered to me, when it's sitting there all day for a whole work shift, every time I'm looking at it, I'm saying, no, I don't want that. No, it's going to make me feel sick. But then a lot of times you just give in eventually anyway. You get tired, you get stressed out at work, you didn't have enough food in your lunch, whatever it was, and you end up eating it anyway. And what was that all worth? Now you're tired and you gave in. Or maybe if you even did stick to your rule that you hoped, you're drained by it. It just wears on you in general. I don't even mean physically tired. I mean mentally tired too. So I wanted to make the point that people often don't like hard, strict rules. But I wanted to make the case here that those, I believe, and maybe this is just personal, but I believe they serve better. Like, work is just the best example for me, because it's like, once I'm there, I'm not getting food from elsewhere. Like, I brought the food that I brought for the day. Otherwise, I'm just kind of hoping that other people like have some stuff lying around, but it's almost always junk anyway, because that's the way a lot of workplaces are. People just bring, crap, honestly. So I just would recommend to people, don't be afraid to have a harsh rule. Don't be afraid to basically make it a law, because I'll tell you something. I felt better during that period. I wasn't worn out by my decisions because I just already knew how it was going to go. I just knew, no, I'm not going to eat any wheat. There's no bread, there's no nothing. And that actually kept me from eating a lot of other crappy ingredients, because like you eat a sweet treat like that, it actually tends to have a bunch of junk in it, let alone just the one thing you didn't want to eat. So yeah, my point is basically like I feel better doing that, even though people would consider that harder. They say that it's harder to do that than to just, treat yourself and give in once in a while. I disagree. I think the more often you give in, the more prone you are to just keep doing it. Because now, if I don't walk in with the rule in my head, I'm already just used to eating stuff at work. Like I've given in, many days. So like doing it again, well, it's not really that big of a deal, is it? I've already done it. I'm, I don't get like as sick from it. I'm almost getting myself more used to it again, which is kind of a problem in itself. But yeah, I would encourage people to experiment with being, and I'm using the word militant. Be harsh about it. Make it a real rule. Like, no matter what, I'm not eating it, whatever it is. Or, I'm talking about food, we can make it exercise. No matter what, I have to do that workout. This is another thing I've been doing lately. Every day I have to do push-ups, pull-ups, squats, something like that, whatever I decided. Right here, I told myself last night, you are making and uploading a video. You haven't done so in a while. You're doing that tomorrow. So this is it. You have to do it. You have to follow your own rule. You have to have self-discipline. But making the decision beforehand actually makes it a lot easier than when it's in live time and you're kind of like, well, I'm tired, I'll do it tomorrow. Well, I don't know, it's not that bad. No, it is that bad, because you're gonna feel bad about it later. Not me, not the other people. It's gonna be you. You have to deal with the repercussions. So it's the same way with me and with food, I come home and I don't feel as good because I gave in. I mentally feel bad because I gave in, and I physically feel worse because it's crappy food. So experiment with that. That's what I would encourage you to do. Don't focus on willpower. Willpower is a fleeting thing. You only have a limited amount of it. It wears out and it drains you ultimately. Even if you do succeed, it tires you out. So make militant rules for yourself. See how it goes. It's always worked for me. I will most likely return back to it because, I've been disappointed with my diet and myself lately, and I want better results. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Other than that, I will talk to you guys soon. There's just a little thought I wanted to get out. Hope you got something from it. Talk to you soon.